Fuck you, Tony. Got a group of failures and they're all my friends. Got a group of drinks and the bottles never end. And the night's gotta rock, gotta roll, and they got to fuck. In the heart of no morals, babe, well, you're gonna get stuck. God save my hero. God, rock, check,
All right, everybody. Tony Rager, host and executive producer. Dang, those levels are low. Can you hear me? There we go. That's better. All right, everybody. This is Tony Rager, host and executive producer of Joint Narcissism. And first of all, first little message I want to put out there is fuck you. Fuck you. Roy DePape. If you want to debate me, you debate me in person in the GSMH studio like a human being that has a conversation and has something to say, has a point of view, has fucking, actual facts to give out. But if you're over there just trolling on YouTube, fuck you. Roy DePape, Israel, you got something to say? You know where I live. We can have a debate, an intellectual debate.
Oh, Israel? I saw that on Facebook.
No, I haven't addressed this issue yet. So,
okay.
On my last episode, I was talking about... I'm taking the headphones off. On the last episode, I talked about for a brief minute in the entire episode, it was less than a minute, about how China used to be communist and how now it's a quote unquote capitalist democracy, but it's still communist as fuck. And then all he said was, "Really, China communist? You got to stop listening to Joe Rogan, fool." It's just like, God, I hated every single word and syllable in that fucking comment because there was no argument. There was no argument. There was no factual nothing. It was just, you said something different than what I believe. You're stupid. And I
don't know. Did you see my thing where I was like, facts make you racist?
Huh?
You see that argument I made with my buddy Jeremy? A lot of people don't agree with my mindset, right? Because facts in today's world make you racist.
Hold on. We're going to pause right here real quick.
Okay.
All right. I'm back, and it works because I'm recording via the phone on Skype with my man, motherfucking Bryson.
That's me. I'm Bryson. I'm the one he's talking about.
Yeah. So you're gonna start a news channel, a news page, and fucking news conglomerate. You're gonna be the next Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's gonna be me, man. Hopefully, I don't end up like that Milo guy, but yeah.
What Milo guy?
Oh, Milo Yiannopoulos?
Oh, Milo. I like Milo.
Yeah, I like him too, man. But he just had to quit Breitbart because he made some claims and some statements about pedophilia that a lot of people didn't agree with.
Well, it wasn't that they didn't agree. It was that they were looking to be outraged because we all make pedophilia jokes. We all make rape jokes. We're all stupid. We're all gross, and we're human.
Yeah.
We should be allowed to. Well, the reason why I support Milo so much is because he's right. We should be allowed to say whatever we want.
Yeah, the First Amendment's it's kind of a big deal, man.
And another thing that's driving me nuts is the fact that everything Alex Jones is saying is coming true. Everything he's ever said that people called him a kook for, it's coming true. It's so true. He's such a public icon that now Homeland is they have a parody of him on Homeland now. Some crazy lunatic radio guy. And he recently converted.
Who is this?
Alex Jones.
One more time. Alex who?
Alex Jones. You don't know who Alex Jones is? Infowars?
No, I know who Alex Jones is. Every time you were saying Jones, it cut off right when it got to like the end sound for your mic.
Am I too close to the mic? Do I need to move the mic?
I think it was a pop. Yeah, you don't have a pop filter.
Okay. Yeah, because these mics are so sensitive. I get too close to them sometimes, and I hate it because editing sucks. When you're peaking the whole episode and you have to edit that shit down so it sounds good, I got to learn to sit back and relax. Everybody, Gentleman Jack.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking now. I'm almost done. I'm gonna have to find another bottle of something.
I am also drinking alcohol, but that company doesn't pay me enough for me to tell you what it is.
It's cheap.
It's Cap Morgan.
So we were talking about you joining the GSMH Productions. You want to run a news channel?
Yeah, it's Robert's Daily. The name's pending, right? Today I just started the website. I've been doing a lot of news stuff with a good group of my friends, and I'm currently active duty in the military, right? So it's a very
you got to be careful.
Very culturally diverse group, as in they're either super fucking right or super fucking left.
Yeah. Right.
But the issue is being in the military, right? Most people join while they're like 17 or 18.
So they're super liberal.
So when they join, they're going to be uneducated for the rest of the time they're in the military, right? That's just how it is, right? Not saying they're stupid, obviously, but I'm saying uneducated for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. So they were never educated in a better way, right? And we could just reference this to Waters, right? Waters World. You ever watched that?
Yeah.
All right. So when all those kids in New York walked out of school to to protest the temporary travel ban, none of the kids knew what countries were banned. None of them knew why they were banned. Some of them made some, valid statements like, it's pretty un-American to close their borders. I agree with that, right? Because that's America, right? But we only have open borders during certain circumstances, right? Obviously, we opened the borders when the Holocaust was going on, right? You got to let them in.
Yeah. But those refugees benefited us, and they acclimated to our culture.
That is the point, right? And so we're talking about people. All right. So the issue here with immigration, right, is generation of non-assimilation.
Yes.
Right. And we're letting.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So we let in a lot of people, right? Good, right? Because the diversity of America is what makes us strong in some way, shape, or form, right? But the only place you see that in 2017 and 16 is in restaurants. You don't see real diversity in American culture. You just see different food, right? And the idea is for all the people that we bring in that are helping the country, they're in on genius visas anyways. So they're just doctors and fucking rocket science.
The best.
Right. And that's good. We need them here. But you talk about all the other people that come with it. I'll call it baggage for lack of a better term, right? The baggage that come, they fail to assimilate, right? And I'm not even talking like I'm from Southern California. You're from Southern California, right? So Spanish is it's a first language in Southern California. I'm okay with that. I don't speak Spanish, right? But and I'm not harping on anybody who speaks Spanish in California, but the idea that you don't speak English in America, not to sound like some crazy bigot, right? But you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if I sound like a bigot. If you don't speak English in America when every other country in the fucking world speaks English, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing if you go to another country and you expect them to speak your language.
I've been to 42 different countries, and I've never had to speak the language that I went to. I never had to speak their home language. Everyone speaks English.
Everyone speaks
right?
English.
So that's my argument to the point of like, all right, you come to America and our first language is English. Fine. Okay. I am not some dude that's going to be like, oh, you speak multiple languages? Oh, you don't speak English well? Oh, you fucking loser? No, never that. But
at least try.
So the baggage that comes, right? People that fail to assimilate. All right. Like I said, I've been to a lot of different countries, and there isn't a value system in a lot of the less progressive countries I've been to, right? They don't value nature. They don't value state parks. They don't have state parks, right?
That's my only issue with Trump right now is deregulation. And the moment he became president, there was a bill to sell off public land. I lost my shit. It got knocked down, but the idea
but private.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you had a point. I shouldn't have cut you off, man. Go ahead.
My thing is, like, okay, yeah, the regulations that protect our environment do hinder business. It makes sense. I don't think you should deregulate our national forest system. It was Roosevelt, correct, that made that land mine and yours. Like, we physically own that, and technically, everybody in the government are our employees. Just like you're an employee of the citizens. You get out and you're paying. You get a regular job. The governors, the senators, those are our employees.
Yep.
And when they don't do things in our best interest, that's a big fucking deal.
But you also, it's all hindsight too, because when someone's been telling you what your best interest is for the last so many years,
fake news.
Who really knows what your best interest is, right?
Well,
that's my thing.
I know what my best interest is.
You do, right?
That's the issue. The issue is people don't vote local. Nobody votes local.
No, everyone's worried about the primary, but nobody's voting for you. No one's voting for fucking senators. No one's voting for sheriffs. No one's voting for school board. No one's voting for fucking the chief of police. No one's voting for the things that matter.
Nope.
All right.
And then when shit goes wrong, they blame the president.
And they're still not even voting for the president. They're blaming it on. Right? These people that are, it's insane. Right? So these people fail to assimilate. Right?
Yeah.
All right, and that was a thing, right? So when we opened the borders originally in the 60s, the first generation would have trouble assimilating, right? Because they're set in their old ways. They're like, 30, 40 years old. They already got a bunch of kids, maybe even a grandkid or two. They don't assimilate, right? But their kids assimilate. Their kids already speak English. They're in school speaking English. There's not a language gap inside the public school system that's making it harder for American kids that don't speak two languages to study, right? Because the teacher is finding it hard if they don't speak another language to teach these kids, right? So ultimately, the entire school system is dumbed down to make it easier for these kids that don't speak English to pass, right? Because they deserve a solid shot, apparently, right? And ultimately, everyone fails.
Mm-hmm.
Because of lack of assimilation, right? And it's not the kid's fault, right? Until it is. Okay? So the first generation doesn't assimilate because they're already set in their old ways. A lot of these people can move into communities where it's fine if they don't speak English. Okay, no one's blasting them, and they're probably not even going to be citizens. I'm not saying that they're illegal immigrants. I'm talking about in the 60s when they were legal, but maybe a green card or they just got here.
Mm-hmm.
But their kids need to take the fact that they moved out of the hellhole to come to the greatest nation on earth and take it for what it is. The American dream is still alive and well, right? But you have to fight for it.
Now it is. Now, ever since Trump became president, and I didn't vote for him. I voted for Gary, right? Because I want there to be a third party. I don't want to have to choose between two dummies.
Yeah, I voted for Johnson too.
I want a libertarian option, the middle option that takes a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because that's the American way. That's what our founding fathers established. When they established the Constitution, you have two opposing ideas. You debate over it. You find mutual ground, and then you make policy based on that. But since World War II, all policy has been democratic, globalism, about basically the United States colonizing the world and then taking care of the rest of the world.
Oh, you're Hitler, bro.
That's why Trump closed the borders, did the temporary travel ban from 7 countries when there's 40 more countries that are Muslim that were allowed in.
85%. 85% of Muslims are affected by the travel ban.
Exactly. So it's
and no one from those countries that are religious minorities are banned from traveling.
Thank you. People are dumb. Nobody wants to read. Nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to go vote. Nobody wants to study politics. Ever since Trump became president, I have never been into politics like I am now.
Well, you come into the world, right, where everyone's walking on eggshells because facts make you racist, right? That's what we're talking about. Facts make you racist, right? So in this world where you're afraid to be considered something you're not, right? Like if I'm saying, like, my wife's Hispanic, right? My son's Hispanic. My kid that's on the way is going to be Hispanic, right? But ultimately, everyone in my family is American.
And white.
No.
You
I
look
don't
white.
see. I don't.
But
no,
I'm saying
I'm very
we're
white.
talking about the way people see you.
Yeah. But
So
fuck
to
them, right?
them, you're just a white guy who's a racist. You
Yeah,
even
'cause
call black people white supremacists.
Ultimately, I am racist because I'm white, right? And those are the eggshells we're talking about,
Yeah.
right? So I don't feed into this white guilt, right? That's bullshit. Okay.
Why would we have white guilt anyways? We didn't do shit, and I'm only
No,
half white.
All right. Even then, when we talk about the idea of the black community being like pushed down by the white community for so long, very real statement, very real factual statements. Okay, we can agree with that. All right, that's still talking about blacks, right? We're not talking about.
Let's talk about Democrats. Let's talk about democratic policy that created.
I just said
the
blacks.
ghettos.
I just said blacks. We're talking about Democrats, right? No.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is the people that that minority quote unquote groups in America believe have their back are actually the ones that are philosophically enslaving them.
And that's what we're also talking about that because we're talking about immigration, right? So the Democrats open the borders, force all these people in to get votes, to keep them in power, ultimately not helping anybody, right? They're just keeping them in power. What happens when you have no threat of losing your power? You become complacent, you stop doing your fucking job, right? And that's why the Democrats are so trash right now, right? Which isn't fair to the Republican Party because what you were talking about were two good or multiple different parties have a foot to stand on. Everyone comes together to fight over policy and figure out what's best for this nation. You're not going to have that, right? Because they had the golden boy, Obama, who was in office. Democrats literally did not have to work, right? The black president. That's all they needed, right? But the dude was fucking white. So
whitewashed mentally and detached from America.
He's half white. Okay? So we talk about like forcing all these votes, forcing all these numbers, getting all the immigration in, right? So they're bringing all these people in, okay? And these people aren't assimilating. And what I was talking about is they have no moral standing on nature or preservation or keeping their communities clean and stuff like that. Like I said, I've been to a lot of these countries who and I'm not saying Mexicans are fucking third world where they shit in the street. All right, I'm saying these immigrants are spray painting on our fucking private property. They're doing this, they're doing that, right? And obviously, you know what? I don't even want to say it, but obviously that's happening, right, with fucking citizens. Okay, no one's fucking saying the citizens aren't criminals. All right, but reality is we're not talking about citizens committing crimes. We're talking about people who left in a terrible, terrible fucking atrocity of a country to come here. They don't get the same fucking standard of living that Americans get, right? They don't get the idea. It's like, okay, well, you can make mistakes because you're American now. No, you have a fucking chip on your shoulder, right? You left a place that was fucked up. You came here to ultimately accomplish the American dream, which is alive and well because of the Trumpenführer, right? The Trump, right? So ultimately, the American dream's alive and well because of Trump, or and any policy before and after Obama or during Obama. There's plenty of fucking accomplishment plenty of goals that can be accomplished even through the Obama legacy. But what I'm saying is these people fail to assimilate, right? They fail to strive for perfection and excellence. All right, they drown in a sea of mediocrity, and then what happens? The Democratic crazy fucking racist left. All right, say what you want. They're racist as fuck.
Weird. It's a really weird thing to say nowadays because my whole life growing up, I thought Republicans were racist. I thought Republicans want to control the world. I thought Republicans
you know what?
were the ones with the corporations. Now there are some, but
yeah,
right now is a giant pivotal point in our nation. Our grandchildren are going to be studying this in U.S. history.
Our grandchildren aren't going to study shit in American history, right? Unless this keeps going the way it's going. We have people. All right, Tony, you got kids, right?
Of course.
All right, you got a boy and a girl. Okay. So I have a boy, right? And I couldn't give two shits if my son grew up and he was gay.
Nope.
Right? Why would
bad.
I care? I love that. I love my kid, right?
Of course.
I don't care if he's gay. I don't care if he's Democrat. I don't care if he's Republican, right? I don't even care if he's Christian. I believe in God, right? But that doesn't matter.
It just
right?
matters if they're happy and they're successful.
And that's what it is. But ultimately, the only thing I don't want is for him to grow up and be a pussy.
Be a fucking liberal. Okay,
that's the word. I just said pussy.
Let's not. Hold on. Let me get my words right. Let's not say liberal. Let's say alt-right. I mean alt-left.
Alt-left pussy.
Because those guys are fucking radical. They're communists. Literal communists.
As a parent, right, I throw a lot of my stuff to the side, right? Just to make sure that my son doesn't grow up being a pussy. All right? I'm not saying he can't have feelings. He can't be sensitive. I'm not even saying he can't cry.
But that's not what a pussy is. A pussy
all right, but I'm telling you.
Opposing ideas.
No. Right. Pussies cry when they don't get their way.
Yep.
All right.
They can't handle negative criticism. They can't handle being wrong. That's
and
important. For success,
all right, so
you need to accept being wrong.
So these fucking people forced this ghost of racism down everyone's throat on the back of social justice, right? So they're saying, oh, you're racist. Even to the point where fucking people are saying that only white people can be racist because only white people are in a position to fucking dominate other races. What the fuck is that, dude?
I mean, Obama was president, bro.
Dude, it doesn't matter, right?
It really don't.
It does not matter. Okay.
Slavery is of the mind. Everything is of the mind, not of the color, not of the skin, not of your position in the world. Racism, bigotry, all that shit is of the mind. It has nothing to do with all that shit.
So we go back to immigration, what I was talking about initially, right? So all these people come in, okay? And I'm not saying we should close our borders, right? I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm saying all these people come in, right? And we'll just use Southern California as a perfect fucking example, right? So all these people come in and they're low-wage workers with lack of education, okay?
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, we'll go to the facts. That's a very big community of black people.
Yep.
So now these black people, these black American citizens, can't get jobs because immigrants are taking their jobs, right? I'm not even talking about white people, right? I'm talking about the black citizens, the Americans, the only true people that we owe any civil rights allegiance to because of
Indians.
Incidents that happened in the fucking past. I'm not talking about white guilt. I'm not talking about reparations. I'm saying these people are Americans. We treated Americans like dirt, and now we are in the position where we can not do that, and we shouldn't, right? But that fucking graciousness does not fall on every Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry that comes across this goddamn border, right? Because if it does that, then ultimately that whole fucking situation fails. Looking weird. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we come across that, and then now the black communities, aside from all the other shit they're fucking up, right? With the single mother issue where we're fucking turning into a martyrdom where it's actually like this huge amazing task and feat to be a single mother, right? Which you should never praise that, right? Because ultimately you're failing the kids. Okay. But what I'm saying is like these large black communities that are lacking with male guidance, right?
Yep.
We're praising that, right? And we're when welfare hits and all these other things hit, we praise the single mother, and ultimately it's child abuse in some weird world. So these kids are, you get what I'm saying. So these kids are.
This. I've done a rant on this exact topic, and that the single mom is why we have alt left. That's the reason. This is the generation of single moms. This is the generation of having moms saying you're amazing, you're special, and saying everything you do is okay. This is the generation of not having your dad say quit being a fucking dumbass. That's stupid. That's dumb. Here's why. You know, having a dad it's a dad's job to break life down to children, because moms take care of the children. They make them feel things, but it's the dad's job to say, this is the world, and this is how you get through it.
I feel like the mother is nurture and the father is nature.
Yes, right? My man. Fucking A.
Right? So when you come down to brass tacks, okay, my mother was a single mother.
Mine
right?
too. That's why I came up with this opinion. I was a shithead a couple years ago. I just grew up.
All right. But I'm just using my real world experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a good buddy of mine. He's actually a helper in Roberts Daily the other day, that if it wasn't for me being brought up in San Bernardino, I would have no idea what it's like to be a man. Right?
That's very true.
If we stayed where we were growing up and I had a single mother, I'd probably be a piece of shit. I'd probably be a pussy. Okay? Ultimately, what's bothering me the most now...
I can give you that. You never were a pussy.
That's
When
not
you
my
joined
thing.
wrestling, I was like, really? This goofy looking motherfucker wants to wrestle? And then you fucking did. Yeah.
But that's it, right? So like, if it wasn't for getting my ass beat all the fucking time,
Yes.
and learning how to fucking beat someone's ass on the back end of that,
Or how to get back up.
or that's it, right?
Just the simple fact of knowing that when shit goes wrong, or if you get your ass beat, or something bad happens, that it's not the end of the world. That you have options, you have choices, you know. But if like me, when I was growing up, I was very depressed for years after high school.
Oh, dude.
I was for years. Nobody wanted to hang out with me anymore because I was just sad about all this bad shit that just keeps happening to me, and it was just ruining my life. And there was a point where I was just like, dude, it's like the only person that could change this is you.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of fuckers don't figure that out because they don't have a dad.
Yeah.
They don't.
I didn't learn it until I became a dad.
That's it. That's fucking it, right? So I had no idea what it was like to be a fucking man. I mean, I consider myself manly, right? Because I could fight. I handle my business. I work my ass off. I pay the bills. I do all the things that on a piece of fucking paper says that I am being a man and a provider, right? But I had no idea what the fuck any of that shit meant.
Yeah.
Until I had my son, right?
Yeah. And then there's a whole nother level of being a parent, you know? Of being a dad.
Yeah.
What most dads don't realize, like a lot of dads don't even realize that it's their duty to drop knowledge. It's our job to make them the tough, like, wow, that kid's smart. That kid knew to stay away from that situation, you know?
Right. Like, I'm the spiritual leader of my household.
Yes. Man.
Right? And I need to be there, right? Because my wife is a very intelligent woman. Mm-hmm. She is. But when it comes down to it, like, I'm sure someone could just take her money out of her fucking wallet and walk away. Like, completely convince her that they're not robbing her, right?
Wow.
And I'm not, that was all metaphorical, right? I
had to think about that for a little bit.
But like, I'm talking about metaphorical. Like, someone can totally rob my wife of whatever it is, time, money, experience, whatever it is.
She won't know that she's seeing bullshit when bullshit's at her face, you know? That's what you're basically saying.
And that's why two-parent household's so important. I'm not saying these kids are failing. What I was talking about, though, is when we come down to it, we're from San Bernardino, both of us, right?
Yeah.
We both grew up
still
poor.
Here. Still poor.
We both... Yeah, real fucking poor. And we both grew up in a single mother household, right?
Well, sort of. Half of my life.
Yeah. Our stories are a lot more similar than you think. But we'll say that for another time. But reality, when it comes down to it, is we got through it and we're doing okay.
Yeah.
All right? We're getting by. And when I was telling my buddy Ryan, who works on the news article page that I'm starting, I was like, you know, it doesn't bother me so much that there's people that are liberal, there's people that are alt-left, there's people that are confused, there's people, you have to have both ends of the spectrum. What bothers me is the people that I was growing up with are those alt-left fuckers.
Yes.
Like these,
I'm
talking like when we were in high school, Tony, like you called someone a fag, right? You called someone a nigger.
We were saying.
Yeah, you called him a nigger. You called him a fucking wetback, right? And these are us chopping jokes at our friends, okay? Yeah. So like I'm calling my Mexican friends a wetback as a joke.
Comedy. That's intelligent comedy. Because what you're referencing. You're referencing, that's something we can only do around our friends.
Right.
So there's a little something to that. That's because we know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I grew up with a black dude and I call him a nigger, He's gonna know that I'm not racist because he's my best friend. It's all about context. It's all about what's being said. Are we joking? Are we playing? Are we talking shit to each other? Are we trying to see who could say the most fucked up thing and get the biggest laugh? There's so many variables to life. We can't say that life needs to be politically fucking correct and that's it. No one has free. The thing that upsets me the most, the thing that got me so upset about what Israel wrote on fucking YouTube was he wasn't hearing the message. He's doing what people do. They hear words, certain words that they're looking for. They're not listening. They're waiting to talk. They're waiting to be offended. They're looking for a reason. And it's upsetting because intelligent people listen. It's one of the seven habits of highly effective people is listening. Actually listening. Like not waiting for a response, not even thinking, just allowing the words to go in your head. And just like you're reading a book. And you're going to listen to everything. Every word until completion, because there's context and allegories and all these different things that paint the whole picture, and you're not just getting a puzzle piece. People are doing these fucking riots and all these demonstrations and calling people horrible things based on a puzzle piece. One puzzle piece of an individual.
Weird, dude. It's fucking weird. You know, like my wife, her sister, right, is a transgender, right? And we'll use this as an example, or I don't know, whatever. So,
is she cute?
It's her sister identifies as a man, right?
Oh, so it's a girl that wants to be a dude.
It's a fucking girl, right? So, like, she calls the other day, and I've been nothing but respectful to this situation, right? Because whatever it is, it's her business.
Like, who gives a fuck?
It's her fucking business, right?
That's on the same way. Who gives a fuck?
But she calls a few months back. And I'm like, oh, it's Vanessa, right? Like making fun of the fact that she's tranny. And she hears me say it over the phone, and she hangs up on my wife. And my wife was like, I can't believe you did that, right? I can't believe you did that. And I just broke it down. I was like, look, if you're going to pretend like you're a guy, you're going to get your fucking shit pushed in like a guy, all right? But you don't get to react with me busting your chops. You don't get to react like a woman just because you see fit. All right, you either go all the way to the fucking end of the spectrum where life fucking sucks as a man, or you just relax where you can just skate by as a woman.
That's that gender non-binary, cisgender non-binary, where they get to pick and choose each day the way they want to act. But I was watching this on Your Mom's House podcast, is they even said it. They said that everybody is gender non-binary. Because there's times where we can feel more feminine, we can be more emotional, be more caring, and then there's times where we can be manly as fuck.
Fucking Marley and Me, bro.
Yeah.
I cried like a bitch over a fucking dog that I never met.
I watched Hachiroku. You ever watch that?
Nah, is that a fucking dog one too?
Yeah,
I probably cry like a bitch.
So sad. The dude. Okay, so it's this dude that goes to the train and he goes to work every day.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid or something like
that. He stayed there. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's called Hachi. Yeah, I remember.
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, but you cry.
Yeah.
And you become your hormones are raging and you're very feminine and you're crying like a bitch. But ultimately what I was getting at is like, so she identifies as a man, right? Mm-hmm. So like being a man ain't fucking easy. I'm not saying being a woman's easy, right? But being a man ain't fucking easy, right? You're getting blasted and your opinion of shit just constantly gets thrown aside based on whatever the fuck should be going on at that time. So you don't get to just, all right, I'm a man now, respect me as a man. Okay, I respect you as a man, so I'm gonna treat you like a man. Okay. But that doesn't mean I don't walk around punching every fucking dude in the world, right?
Yeah.
But if a dude's in my fucking workspace, I'm cutting it up like he's a guy.
You're gonna fuck, right? Yeah. You're going to talk shit.
And if this person is my family now, right, because I married into it, they're getting it worse than anybody else.
Yeah, because they're fam.
Right? So, and then this dude, chick dude, whatever, she reacts like a woman. I'm like, okay, well, then she's not a man, right? That's just how it is. Another fucking thing, right? When we're talking about that whole political correctness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Ben Shapiro knocked it out of the fucking water. He was talking about these fantastic, strong, important words that we have, like correctness and justice, right?
Yeah.
When you put a prefix on them, such as political or social, they turn them into a very bad thing.
It becomes communist.
Yeah, so like fucking these transgender Stalins, I guess that's what they are now.
Yeah.
No,
you know, we used to be cool with Stalin, dude.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody should ever be cool with someone like Stalin.
I think you should. Just like
I think
this is my theory.
think Roosevelt just had a big ass dick, dude.
It's very possible. He was like the manliest American ever.
I don't know. Reagan was kind of a man too.
He didn't go hunt and kill bears. He didn't secure our public land and say, yeah, well, you can hunt here too, bro. Nobody else can fuck with this.
You're talking about FDR or Teddy?
No, I'm talking Teddy.
Yeah.
Roosevelt, right?
Yeah, so Teddy made the Panama Canal.
Yeah, Teddy did that. Yeah, you're right. Why is there two Roosevelts? It's fucking...
yeah, they're spelled different too.
Franklin was like fucking handicapped, right? He was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but he's the big dick that was friends with Stalin.
Yeah, he was. Well, this is why I agreed with that. Because just like the theory I have on my neighborhood, how I'm cool with all the people that I know who are stealing shit and robbing people and that are shitheads, I'm cool with every single one of them. Every time I see them, I talk to them and I shake their hands. I'm not hanging out with them. I'm not doing anything with them. But
mutual respect based on humanity.
Yeah, like a confidential treaty. Like we're both badasses. I'm doing my badass a way better way than you are. But I understand I don't want a war with you either. So we're gonna be cool. You do you, and I'll do me. That was basically that was pre Cold War. That was the reason why we went into Cold War is because Truman's little bitch ass.
Oh, Truman was such a pussy, dude.
Because Stalin was a man of his word, and so was FDR. That's why Stalin loved FDR. Is because he was a man of his word, and he knew he could trust him. So he wasn't your average politician, and Truman didn't. So basically, Russia began to reconquer, and then we dropped the bomb. And then we're like, oh, and then we had the UN meeting where they're like, everyone turn in all our inhumane weapons, and then once everyone else does that, we'll turn in a nuke. And then Russia was like, no, we're not going to disarm ourselves and leave you with the most powerful weapon ever in the history of ever. Right?
Well, I mean...
So that makes sense onto why now Trump could potentially, quote unquote, in theory, be trying to lift sanctions and become homeboys with Putin, so that we can. Yeah. I mean, Putin's going to keep doing that fucked up shit over there, but now we have no interest since we aren't a part of the TPP and we're out of the UN now,
dude. And you know what?
All right, everything that happens over there has nothing to do with us, and we don't give a fuck. And I think that is that's good.
Well, you got dipshits. Like, all right, so fucking Al Sharpton, that dude, like, put some shit up. He's fucking moron, dude. Right. So he puts this stuff up talking about, like, oh, they're talking to Russians. That's illegal. What the fuck? How the fuck is that illegal?
Yeah.
You can't talk to Russians? What the Oh, because all the Russians are building all those AK-47s just waiting to nuke us. Who the fuck would ever nuke America, dude? That's the dumbest shit ever.
Nobody. Bert Kreischer got famous because of Russia. His story of hanging out with the mafia.
Yamashinu.
Yeah, the machine. So
that was the funniest
it just shows the level of ignorance, man. It's like those prank videos where they record people on a popular sidewalk and ask them basic American questions that every American should know, and they get like everything wrong.
Dude, and it's not like they're asking. All right, so all right, another thing. Talking about FDR, about how he's such a man. Dude was elected 4 fucking times.
The only president do that simply because of the world wars.
His dick was just so huge, bro.
Well, I think that's still a law that if we're in a war and it's a only in a world war that the president can exceed the 2-term. But we have a world war. But look at this.
Well,
if you take
World War II wasn't fucking 8 years long.
True, it ended pretty fast. But our wars are way longer. But it's not a world war.
No.
So
I
think that's why the Clinton administration was trying to fucking push that Russia thing, where they're trying to attack Russia because they're saying that Russians were the ones that hacked the emails.
Right.
So they're saying that's a breach of national security, and it was a declaration of war. They were trying to start World War III, so that Obama could stay in presidency longer so that they can further their globalist agenda. I just made this shit up based on what I know, and it sounds very logical.
I mean, it's kind of far-fetched, but it's got enough in it that I could definitely jump on that.
Evil, like, takeover of the government type situation, that'd be a perfect way to do it.
No, that's really fucked up and corrupt, but you also got to think, Putin ain't gonna do that shit. That dude's a fucking man.
That fool's rich as shit.
He don't play that shit. That's
and
a fucking...
Rich as shit because he's the czar. He doesn't have the name czar.
He's the president.
President. No, he's a fucking czar. They brought the czar back. That's why. All the money is his. His whole country is worth $100 billion, basically. He's
a monster, dude. Dude, he's like... he's so bad that, like, when he got elected, right? He's like, all right, I'm going to give you guys all these tax breaks, and you got to fix your businesses in a year. And so at the end of the year, he goes to all those businesses. He's like, you didn't do what I told you to, so this is my business now.
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean,
it's so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a man of his word. If he follows in the footsteps of Stalin, Russia's about being a man of your word. You keep your word. And if he tells them, hey, we're going to give you we're going to cut the taxes, you take all the extra money, you fix your business, make it more profitable so that Russia can be worth something because they are sanctioned from the U.S., which means just like Cuba, they're not receiving, global trade, Well,
Cuba is now, right?
Yeah, Cuba is now, I think. Didn't they repeal that law? They repealed
last year.
Yeah, so see, that's why I thought it was going to happen again with Russia.
An embargo.
I imagine we're going to be on good terms with them soon.
Well, the only reason we even did that for Cuba was because of Russia, right? The missile crisis.
Russia. Yeah, they were clicking up with them. I mean,
why would you do that? Whatever.
That's all probably wrong. If you take the history of us right now and you just scale it down to summarize points, it's just war, territory. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
you got little specks of crazy cool innovation, but globally, war, territory.
Yeah.
History of us. Well, that's what we do.
That was like the same thing. Like, obviously, no one talks about that, right? Because it seems super fucked up. So, president's not going to be like, we have to go to war because of this, and this.
Yeah.
They sell it politically. I'm on board, whatever. But then you have people like fucking Obama, right? Who just did this. He's like, all right, so we're going to fuck with Afghanistan for a while. And then once Afghanistan gets a little weak, we're going to go over to Iraq because we can't
just completely destabilize the whole Middle East.
We can't have anybody too strong in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And my boy Trump is like, Israel's in the Middle East. We can have some strength in the Middle East. I don't give a shit. Yeah, and that's it.
I like what he did with closing the border and strengthening the military within the United States rather than globally. Because we do hold a lot of places around the world. You know that.
Yeah, but we don't have any fucking bases in the Middle East. Like in the Middle East, right? But that's a big ass fucking territory. But like in any of these fucking terrorist cell countries, we don't even have a base.
Yeah, like an actual. We just have random jobs here and there.
Like Afghanistan's got 10,000 people in it right now, but it's not normal people, right? These are big dick fucking hard chargers. Yeah. But we don't. But like we have fucking 4 or 5 bases in Germany. We got bases in Italy. We got bases in Greece. We got bases in Spain. We got bases all through the world. But we don't have any fucking bases like in these terrible, terrible areas.
Yeah, so why are we even there?
Right? Because it was like, well, the only reason we have bases in all those in the European theater was because of World War II, right? Because of essentially what happened in World War I, right?
Yeah.
They're like, we promise we won't do it again. And we're like, all right, we believe you. and then they did it again. So they're like, all right. So then we just left a bunch of homies there watching them, make sure they don't do it again.
Yeah. Make sure they're not slipping up.
Well, no,
they're like the babysitters of the world. It's like what Trump did by doing that is forcing the world to grow up and forcing our community as a country to reestablish American idea, know what it is to succeed, to see growth, and there is potential for failure in this, because we do have to take into fact that you have human nature, and people suck sometimes, and they will take advantage. So I do imagine that that's going to be an issue, and I hope that the idea of Americana, that people would want to pay their employees well and do everything the right way, you know, and take care of our communities.
Like, what's the fucking point of having $1 billion?
If it's just going to be there, just doing nothing.
Or if someone has $1 billion,
help. We should be of service. Every individual, when they get to, even always, as Tony Robbins says, don't even wait for it. Just be of service to someone else somehow. Always.
Yeah, dude. It's like, it blows my mind, right? Especially when you got these Hollywood fuckers that are just like,
those cunts.
They
won't even
blowing this liberal alt left bullshit out their asses, right? But they have millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they're not doing anything to stabilize the community, right? But then you got people like Ashton Kutcher, right? Who's not this fucking huge Hollywood name, who's fucking making a difference, dude.
Great dude. Yeah. Yeah.
But he wasn't at the fucking women's march. You got fucking what's her tits? Fucking Scarlett Johansson talking about, I didn't vote for you, you're not my president. And then you got Madonna talking about how she wants to blow up the fucking White House.
And then she says she'll give everyone a blowjob that didn't vote for him. She said that.
Who says that?
Listen to that level of ignorant clickbait. That's all that is, man. Ignorant clickbait.
Dude. And they're just getting paid to say this shit, right? Because they don't really give a fuck, because they already have $1 million. They don't care about this country.
All about that money. I think we're all about that money, but I would always put my morals in front of it. I would never compromise my integrity.
You know,
that's what Americans lack. Americans lack integrity.
Integrity, absolutely. And you know what? Look, I'm an American first, right? And that's my big thing, right? I'm an American. I'm a fucking American. And if I had $1 billion, I'm an American with $1 billion.
Yeah.
And that'll always be me, right? So I will never have all this money and not do something for America, right? So I don't have any money right now, but I'm doing something for America. And if I ever have a bunch of money, I'm going to continue to do something for America. That's what I'm continuing to do. Even to the point where I'd walk through like a fucking million hells or go to any fucking war for this country, right? Yeah. To make sure someone else can have that opportunity somewhere else. All right, so like the idea is like, okay, well, they're just doing this for oil.
They're doing it for resource.
Okay, all right. How fucked up is the country we're going into to take the oil? It's super fucked up.
It's like the rich people in San Bernardino going down to the ghettos and robbing the poor people.
Yeah, or it's like, all right, we just went to the Middle East for their oil. Okay, well, how fucked up was the Middle East? It was really fucked up. All right, what made it fucked up? All the money from the oil. Okay, so maybe we talk about they don't need that fucking money because they're doing nothing but a disservice to their country. No one would fucking sit here and blast fucking Saddam, right?
Yeah.
If he was an oil tycoon, had billions of dollars, stabilized his fucking infrastructure, made his country worth a shit, made him the richest fucking nation in the world, as they should have been. And no one would say anything, even if they were communist, right? Even if they're fucking communist still, not Democrat.
It's not affecting us.
As long as you're taking care of your people, right? That's why no one fucks with Russia.
Yeah, because he's taking care of
those motherfuckers were starving to death for like a decade. And no one was talking shit about them because they were communists. And the only person that had any fucking money was the guy who was in charge.
Putin.
But I don't get it, right? So like, obviously we're not going to invade Russia. There's nothing there for us to take. But
no,
when you're talking about arguing semantics about like, oh, those wars were just for oil. I mean, we got more oil than anybody else in the world.
Yeah,
like a lot more.
Yeah, that's a thing for me though. I would hope there would be super regulations on drilling in America. You know, I don't want to ruin the land. That's my only thing, because accidents happen. Even if there are millions of pipelines going through the ground, one
You know
is
what?
too many breaking. You know what happens? We have to have contingency plans to prevent environmental damage. Like if it does break, there needs to be some type of system to, you know, quickly tap it off, or what, you know what I'm trying to say. My thing is our land it's our land. I don't want people spilling their oil in my land, right? Like, you can come dig on my land, you can just don't ruin it.
But I mean, when you look in the grand scheme of things, I mean, how many times have you ever heard of that
I've heard of it about 5 times in my adult life.
in America?
2 times.
All right.
But not to mention the natural gas leaks all throughout the tornado belt, where there's a shit ton of drilling. People's faucets are catching on fire. You can't drink it.
That's methane. That has nothing to do with the drilling, though. That's how they were already on fire before the drilling started. It's all like this political bullshit where they're like, okay, we got this story. You know, ultimately, what fucked everything up was the fracking. Okay, when they started doing that fracking, instead of drilling straight down, they're drilling sideways, shooting this fucking chemical compound into the Earth's crust that goes into the fucking well water and fucks up some cities, right? But
okay, I learned something new. I didn't know the difference.
Yeah, all right. So
I
drilling,
fracking and drilling was the same shit.
No. All right. So what happens is, like, all right, if you drill, right, like old school, like in Beverly Hillbillies, you drill straight down, oil comes straight up. But what fracking does is finds an oil site, and they go in and then they go out at all these angles, and they shoot this high pressurized water chemical mixture that destroys and destabilizes the crust of the earth, and it pulls more oil out of the sides of the well. And what was going on is the chemicals that
bastards.
Yeah, but it's actually more efficient, and they end up not using up the area like they would with oil, right? So they drill the oil, they frack the oil, they take their deposit, and they roll. Right, so they're not drilling, they're not pumping for a decade.
Okay.
So, but what was going on is, because it was a new thing, the chemical compound they were using to frack was actually contaminating certain well water.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's totally fucked up, right? But when we talk about oil spills on land in America, like, it's not this thing that's happened, right? We drill so much and it's not happening. The shit that happened in the Gulf, in the water, I mean, just think about how hard it would be to fucking take care of anything in the water.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not justifying big oil.
Idea.
I'm not this crazy.
That should probably be illegal until they perfect it. You
know, and the worst thing about it is not even an American company. You know,
that BP.
Yeah, but when you think about how often does stuff like that happen on land, it's relatively small, because, you know, the weights and balances are, you know, you can do it.
Yeah.
All right. And even when it comes to fracking, you know, I did one of my fucking college papers on it, and it was talking about even the percentage of that happening. Now, 1% of it ever happening does a shitload of damage.
Yeah.
To a very small area. All right. And you can't just drill and you can't just frack, right? So it's like this huge fucking committee has to get involved, where, like, if you're fracking in an area, everyone in that whole area has to say okay. And then they say okay, knowing good and well, or at least signing a paper saying they know good and well all the bad things that could happen. And then the bad things happen, and they're like, we never wanted you to frack, right? But then there's a fucking piece of paper with their goddamn name on it, and they signed it.
Yeah.
So that's just how that rolls. And I'm not justifying the fact that they fucked up these people's well water, right? Because it's fucked. But when you think about it, like, ultimately the greater good, and sometimes pays off. Okay, so when we talk about the Middle Eastern wars, and since we're on the realm of oil, you know, less than 2% of all the oil that goes through the Gulf and the Straits of Hormuz has anything to do with America, right? We didn't take those countries and then take their oil. We didn't do any of that, right? So the only reason we even have a presence in the Middle East is to make sure that global economy still does well. Right, so China uses Middle Eastern oil. Korea uses Middle Eastern oil. Japan uses Middle Eastern oil. Tons of countries use oil from the Middle East. Almost none of them being the United States of America. So it's a global economy things to where if Saddam's like, well, he's dead, good for that. But like say Saddam owns all this oil in the Middle East and he's not sharing it anymore, or he's only sharing it with people that are bad, you have to infringe on that because that's global economy. You don't get to decide. Yeah. Well, you don't get to like supply, or you can't fuck with the balance, right? So like you don't get to just openly supply all this oil to all these countries and then one day be like, no. It shuts everything down. That's why we have such a strong presence in the Straits of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf, right? Because if anything if Iran were to fuck something up in the Straits, global economy shuts down for an hour, it's billions and billions and billions of dollars. Can't have that. Right? So when you think about America just jumping in these ransacking these fucking third world countries just for their oil, I mean, we never even took any of their oil. It's not ours.
So now that we're out of globalism, now that globalism isn't a thing for the president, how do you think that's going to affect this global trade economy that we're talking about?
It's gonna be alive and well, man. Because like we didn't
for the whole world.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it, right? So like
we're going to be selling off our oil too. Yeah, right.
I mean, I would imagine so. I would imagine it'd become a huge export for us, right? But even then, like the oil that we dig inland is going to stay inland. We have so much oil coming out of Alaska.
It's going to go back down to $1.
I can't say that, right? I would never assume that. I mean, please, that'd be great.
That would be amazing. It was in the 90s. Gas was $1 in the 90s. Why couldn't it be $1 now?
And my mom would still be like, "You got gas money?" And I'd have to give her $5 then, just like I'd have to give her $5 now. It wouldn't fucking matter, dude. But no, with the globalism, right? Talking about President Trump saying that he wants America to take care of America and all this other stuff. That's not a quote, I'm pretty much just putting words in his mouth.
Summarize.
But ultimately, taking care of the strongest nation in the world, putting them first, puts a lot of other nations first. Yeah. If you think about it, like if you're taking care of the country that's taking care of all the other countries, ultimately, it's not so bad.
It's going to get stronger.
Yeah. So like if you're
more wealthy.
I just think about it like if you think of it as traditional household where the man works, like an older traditional household, not now. Man works a really hard job, struggles, but always provides food on the table, and comes home to 3 kids and a wife who's taking care of the house, right? And she makes sure he's fed and taken care of. It's the same thing, right? Let's say America,
or if you're
America's,
gay, if you're gay, whoever your partner is binary.
Yeah, well, no, fuck that, dude. I'm not about it. Obviously, you can relate to the story however you want to, but
this is from his. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
If the dad's not taken care of in that traditional household, if the dad's not taken care of, how the fuck is he supposed to take care of anybody else?
Yeah.
So if America's the dad, right, because we're always in everybody else's fucking business and taking care of other people, ultimately, if we're struggling and starving to death, how the fuck are we supposed to work and provide for our family, which is our allies?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people things.
If no one's rubbing my back when I get home after hard work, after a hard day's work,
I get nothing rubbed. What are you talking about?
Dude, I'm saying if no one's doing that, then you're not taking care of me, dude. And that's just how it is. And it's the same thing. So if he's like, all right, we need to close the borders until we can figure something out. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. We need to get all these fucking companies to come back to America so we can boom America's economy and get us back. Yeah. Because you know what? Those dudes don't deserve to be billionaires if they're not making money in America.
Nope. It's
the same thing.
They don't get to claim American citizenship and then have their country somewhere else, and then have their whole nation suffer because of all that economic drain. Yeah. That's an economic drain.
Well, and then you think about the idea of the immigrants too. We're talking about, right? If those guys come here illegally and they make their money and they send it home, and they're paying Mexican taxes. They're not paying American taxes. Yeah. And Mexican taxes are through the fucking roof. So, like, if you're not going to pay taxes in the country that's giving you the money, I mean, you got to get the fuck out. And it's not because I am for taxes, right? But I am definitely for what a lot of your tax money goes into. Like, if you're going to drive on our roads to go to work, then you need to pay taxes.
Got to help
if your kid, if your kids are going to public school, you got to pay taxes.
You gotta help pay that.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta help pay for that free lunch.
And it's kind of fucked up, right? And then, and then this is kind of just fucking, this is kind of snowballing into something. We're talking about this Healthcare Act, Affordable Healthcare Act.
That's not affordable.
Well, let's just not even get into that, right? Because that's just going out the window.
So much money. I got taxed so much money, dude. $1,738, man. I didn't even go to the doctors at all,
dude. But what I'm getting at is there's a huge spike in employment, right, during the Obama administration. And it made him look really good, right? But when he forced that CARE Act and forced companies to give medical benefits, what happened is they hired double the people at part-time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And then it's also a drain on the welfare system, too, when they do that.
Yes, it is, right? So employment went up. Welfare dependency went up.
Everything else,
and medical prices went up.
Fuck, dude,
like a lot. So, like, it was actually cheaper for the normal American person, depending on what other kind of medical aid they were going to get, to lie and say they don't have medical insurance.
Yeah, and just pay out of pocket.
Well, yeah, because your out of pocket expenditures might have absolutely been less than your copay. Yeah. So if you're going to the hospital and you're like, I need to get blood work done, right? And it's normally $115.
Pay that.
All right. You pay that. But if you say I have an insurance and they say, okay, well, we charge $360 for someone with insurance and your copay is $500, now you have to pay $360.
Yeah.
So how is that affordable in any way, shape, or form? And people are using these rare bullshit excuse of fucking situations talking about people that are going through chemo. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fucking work. Obviously, it's cheaper to pay the copay.
It's just cheaper to smoke weed.
But the normal American citizen, the normal citizen going and paying their health insurance, going to medical, going to the hospital to do their physicals, their checkups, their colds, their flus, they are paying a ridiculous amount of money because they try to remove privatized healthcare. And when they say everyone's got to have it,
and then they force you to pay a tax. Dude, that's what started the war. Was it 1776?
Well, yeah, it was taxation without representation.
Isn't that exactly what that is?
No, but they try to, like, smoke screen you with giving you representation.
Isn't that
but that's what I was talking. Well, no, then it was a king, and he didn't have to tell you shit.
Okay, yeah.
But that's what we were talking about. The Democratic Party becoming so fucking lazy, right? Because they had this dude, this fucking God King Obama, man. And I'm not like some crazy never Obama guy, right? Good for him, he did great. But what I'm saying is, like, this dude was so good at selling anything and everything.
Yeah, he could speak well.
How the fuck can you sell the Affordable Care Act? Right? Normal people can't do that. It's a fucked up thing.
It wasn't even written by Obama.
No, but he sold it, right?
Yeah.
And that's how good he was, that everyone else could be so much worse.
That just shows. That's why I support Trump calling the media fake, calling them fake news, and I don't think that he's trying to control the media like McCain said that's how dictators get started. No, I think it's important to call people out on their bullshit. I think it's important to say, that's wrong, you're wrong, everything you say is wrong, you're fake news. You can't call yourself a news organization and just publish all these lies. Here's the facts. You know?
Yeah, you're right, man. You're fucking
what
right.
News is supposed to be. It's supposed to be reporting news, factual news, things that happen.
Unbiased news.
And we don't have that.
And it fucking sucks, right? Because I'm pretty sure it's just because McCain and Trump have a beef.
Well, there will be a new news corporation that will come about through this.
That's right. Roberts Daily News. The first article I wrote myself was actually about fake news. I don't know if you read it. It was about the Swedish riots and stuff like that.
No, I didn't read it.
That was the first article.
There was was it the only article that was on there? Yeah, I did.
No, I have a good amount of articles on there now, but the first thing I wrote was it was about when President Trump was in Melbourne, Florida, and he was talking about high levels of immigration relating to crimes. And then he's like, okay, it's happened in Germany. Oh my God, it happened in Sweden. Who would ever thought it happened in Sweden just last night? He's referring to a news report of an expose he watched on the Tucker Carlson. You ever watch that Tucker Carlson thing?
No, I never watched Tucker Carlson.
All right, yeah. So Tucker Carlson had a guy named Ami Horowitz on. All right, and Ami Horowitz went and spent some time in Sweden and did a documentary based on the fact that they have incredibly open borders, but they have a small population, so it doesn't make sense. So what he did is he put some numbers out there. He's like, okay, since 2007 to 2015, rape and murders have gone up by about 70% each. All right, yeah. I think murder was more like 50-something%, and then rape was like 70 to 80%, and so he put those stats out, right? And he's not ever once saying that it's in correlation to immigrants, right? But all he did was put out another fact stating that, you know, Sweden immigrated 160,000 immigrants. Okay, Sweden's population is only 10 million.
Oh, so that's a 1% add to the population.
That is insane, right?
That's a big intrusion on a small nation.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then, so that was his thing, and he was like, you know, but it's not a Muslim nation, right? So a lot of these immigrants are Muslims. So they're defecting, they're not assimilating, and they're, you know, taking over small Muslim areas and having their own ghettos.
I just had a debate with someone online about this.
But it's pretty common that happens, right? Where you kind of stay with your own people. I mean, you see it in New York all the fucking time, but that's not a big deal. But he was talking to a lot of the police officers. And they're like, yeah, we're just not allowed to go there. No-go zones, no-go zones.
Yeah.
And I just saw on your Facebook that dude talking about no-go zones and how they're bullshit. I can promise you that no-go zones are not bullshit, because the no-go zones that I've been to are not bullshit. So in that sense, you know, when you think about how peaceful a country like Sweden is, right, and the Swedish as a whole, like, their no-go zone might not be that bad, you know?
Yeah.
It might be San Bernardino.
Probably just San Bernardino.
Yeah. But it might not be that bad, but it's bad to them, right? And the issue ultimately wasn't that it was causing crime. It was the fact that crime has peaked since the borders opened up so fully, and their government was lying about it.
Statistical fact that you can track. You know, it's sort of like how San Bernardino is the sixth, has the sixth highest murder rate, and the first one, their high murder rate is it's a big number. But when you can, like, let's say Chicago
population.
Right? Yeah, the population compared to the actual murder rate, when you do the ratio, that's where you get your placing. Like, let's say San Bernardino had 50, 60 last year, right? But our population is like 30-something. I don't know how big it is. 20, I don't know. It's compared to Chicago, San Bernardino's murder rate, it's way worse, because Chicago is really populated. And their murder rate was like 300 or something last year, but their population was like, I don't know. You searching it right now?
Yeah. All right, so they're pretty close to each other, right? So San Bernardino's got 270,000 people in it, and Chicago's really close at 2.7 million.
You see what I mean?
But so yeah, that's
if only 360 people died out of 2.7. It's not that bad,
dude. And that was the issue I was having, right? Because instead of arguing the fact that, you know, there wasn't a lot of correlation to immigration versus these crime rates, which is kind of what his documentary is about.
Yeah.
They were arguing his statistics that were factual statistics. You know who Don Lemon is?
Yeah.
All right, so he's a fucking tool, right? So Don Lemon's trying to blast this Ami Horowitz dude. He's like, yeah, but it's only 70% because they redefined what rape was. And then Ami Horowitz is like, they redefined what sexual assault was. I'm using rape statistics. Like, you know what rape is, right? Like, it's rape. And then, so, you know, he tries to argue this weird logic, right, where he's saying percentages don't really matter. He's talking about percentages, right?
So he's saying it's like, not the percentage, it's the body count.
Yeah, he's like, it's gone up 70%, but population here, it's gone down here. And he's like, what I'm saying is these numbers are pretty normal and they don't really correlate to immigration. And then he justifies that by saying, you know, the immigration is only 1%. So he just like totally tries to disprove all these statistics based off percentages.
But when you look at the actual numbers of that 1%, it's a significant amount of people.
Well, Sweden's a socialist country, man. So like, if there's 10 million,
but those refugees, they don't have the same culture. They don't have the same moral values. That's why it's bad.
Assimilation. It's bad, right?
Yes.
And I'm not saying they're all bad people, but when you got it, all right. So the idea is, in a socialist country, everyone fucking works. So it's 10 million people working, more or less. We're not counting the kids, right? So it's, I mean, the number's obviously off. I don't know the numbers, but when everyone works in a country and then you import 1% more that don't have jobs,
that means that everyone's going to be taken care of.
Yeah, and the Swedish reporting agency, BRA, puts out that only 500 of those fucking people got jobs.
Really?
Out of 160,000 people, only 500 of them became working citizens, and they all have welfare.
And that's again why I agree with Trump's policy with the immigration, being hard as fuck on immigration. I agree. Like, yeah, cool people did come, like, immigrate here legally. They did it the right way, and they did amazing things. They might be your grandma, they might be your grandparents, but we know people who came here illegally and fucking shitheads. I mean, we went to school with the illegal immigrants who are the fucking retards. Now, don't get me wrong. There's always some of them that were amazing.
Yeah. But I don't argue anything in the small minority. I don't argue anything in the minority, right? Mm-hmm. Like, my opinion of abortion is that you shouldn't have it, right? Mm-hmm. But I never argue, be like if I was pro-abortion, I would never be like, well, what if the girl gets raped by her dad? This crazy fucking statistic, this crazy minority of a situation. Like, you can't justify this huge fucking moral cause by something that might have happened once.
Yeah.
Ever. You know, so it's like, obviously, I know those numbers aren't. It's probably happened more than once if we're talking about it.
It has, but I mean, that's how civilization got started.
But what I'm saying is, like, I will never justify my factual causes on some crazy minority, right? So when you think about all the, like, we could just, coming from Southern California, we'll just use Mexico. I don't got a beef with Mexicans, but like, I know people that have lived in fucking America for like 25 years, never even thought about getting their citizenship, right? Yeah. And let's talk about the fucking dudes, right? Fucking a lot of Mexican dudes are pieces of shit.
I've only had issues in my life with Hispanic dudes, and I'm Hispanic.
A lot of them are pieces of shit, and it's a cultural thing. Right?
Yeah, they're pieces of shit because to us they're not assimilated. So they're the way they come off to us is like fucking bad. Yeah.
Well, they're dicks. They treat women like shit. Mm-hmm. Like, what?
That's their culture.
Yeah, and like, I don't agree with that. Right?
Well, only until I don't have maybe recently America's been don't hit your wife.
Yeah. I think it's always been kind of taboo, but no one really gave a shit.
Yeah, because everyone did it.
But it used to be a fucking thing where it's like,
you could slap a woman and then no one would say a damn thing.
Dude, like, no, it used to be so bad. It used to be so bad that, like, you shouldn't hit your wife, right? Everyone knows that. But if the neighborhood finds out that your wife's hitting you, they'll like tie you up to a car and drive you around the block making fun of you for not putting your woman in check. And this is in America, dude. I'm not making this up. Yeah. They would like tie you to a buggy. Did you believe, like, because
it's like it's like the cucks. They make fun of cucks. They're just like, you cuck old little bitch. Like, we don't want. I think that's a primitive nature thing where you want the weak to die, because for our species to survive, you want the man to be able to protect his loved ones. And if someone else is plowing their dick into them, or if she's whooping your ass, you need. And your genetics need to die out of the gene pool.
And talking about beating women, dude, let's get on feminism for a second.
Here we go,
bro. Let's talk about how bad the feminist movement is for women, dude. It's so bad.
It's doing exactly what liberals did to me are doing to average everyday women.
Dude,
Average
and
everyday
feminism
women
is not remarkably, numbers and hundreds and thousands of women are not identifying as feminist because they don't agree with the movement, right?
Don't want to be attached to
do I
like
want
that.
I do not want women to be equals. I don't.
We're not equal.
I'm
not even equal to you. You're not equal to me.
Right, we're different.
How can you cannot force equality onto people. You can't, because we're not equal. Being equal to everybody is communism.
I don't want women to be.
Now we can respect everyone the same.
Yeah. I want them to get paid as equals.
Just respect them the same. That's all I'm saying. If you respect them the same, if look, I respect a girl that can lift a shit ton of weight. I can respect a girl that can work on an engine. I don't have a problem with it. I think that shit's hot as fuck, because anytime a woman breaks a stereotype and can fucking hang their own with men, it's super attractive, and they deserve to be treated just like a guy. They don't deserve any special treatment. Nope. You're just like we're equal playing ground now. You can build an engine, I can build an engine. We work together. You're a dude to me right now. Right. Sorry, I went on a rant.
No, that's fine. That's what this is about. But it's like the idea. It's like, who's actually oppressed? Nobody. Like
me, the poor person in our society. Technically, the poor class is suppressed. It is oppressed by the democratic corporate oligarchy that is going to be no longer because of Trump and
Fury, bro. But no, it's like, who of all these people, these entitled pieces of shit, are actually oppressed? Women are not oppressed. Like, what?
They got it really good. Especially like, Stater Brothers. At Stater Brothers, when I worked there, and even now, I only see females getting promoted. There was this girl that she hasn't even been working there 8 months. She's already a cashier, dude. I know people that have been a fucking box person for years. It's all politics. Someone has to like you in order. You know what I mean? I want to get rid of that. Yeah. I want it to be based on merit.
And the idea is, right, that these people, like, these entitled people, don't deserve anything, right?
I got 5% left on my phone.
Oh shit! That's the audio. Yeah. So like, these entitled people that don't actually deserve anything other than a fair shot are complaining that they're not getting a fair shot, when really that's all they're getting. Right?
Yeah, they're not. It's like they don't want to their idea of a fair shot is something being given to them. They don't understand that we all have a fair shot, but it's not equal.
It's not equal. We all have a fair shot. You know what? Me and you were brought up in the exact same conditions, or very similar conditions, right? You and I have a fair shot.
Yeah.
Against people that are similar, right? Like, but in the world of you're born with money or you're not, that really gets rid of the fair shot, and you got to kind of accept it. Like, it's not saying that.
Well, it's not even a fair shot because they're not mentally prepared and ready, and they don't have the knowledge. Right.
But like, just because we weren't born with money doesn't mean like that we can't retire with money.
Yeah.
It's not. That doesn't mean that. It just means we don't have a fair shot against someone who already has $1 million.
Yeah,
that's all it's saying.
Someone that can take that idea and run with it. Because I have a lot of ideas, I just don't have money. Right,
and that's hard to do. It takes money to make money, right? Mm-hmm. But like, for me and you not having a lot of money, like, we have a fair shot, right? If we both have drive and determination, and we actually try, me and you have a very fair shot to get to the fucking goal of, let's say it's $1 million. Like, it's not crazy. Like, I don't have any more of a chance to get it because I'm white or more white than you, right? And you don't have any less of a shot because you're mixed with a Hispanic. Like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty.
You're a lot prettier than I am.
I have a big advantage over you. I have green eyes, and I have a bulge in my pants.
I also have.
I can just flex nuts and wink an eye.
I also have green eyes.
Oh, I thought they were blue.
No, they're green. Oh. Yeah. Oh, well, you call me Aryan now?
Yeah.
You cuck?
No. How'd you know?
No, I have green eyes, but I wear big dad glasses to beat the pussy away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta have those BCGs, dude. I got so much pussy with BCGs.
And that's it. But now I just have sex with one woman, and it's pretty great. But I got to wear these glasses to keep the other women away because I'm so charismatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. You know, bitches fall in love all the time. You know,
this is crazy. They're so stupid.
I got to tell them. You know, I already got the old Bon Jane. I don't need another one bringing me down.
That's right. I'm already drowning. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm already drowning in the ocean, man. It's just more weight.
Yeah, don't be the one to make me fall.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? Fucking. Oh yeah.
We got.
You 4%. Said something about communism, and Israel called you or said you need to stop listening to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I don't even know how that correlates. I don't because I listen to
Joe Rogan is the most moderate,
right,
dude,
the most middle guy ever.
Yeah, like he has plenty of different opinions.
He's super liberal too. He's super giving. He's a super caring person. But
he's so unbiased.
And that's why it's upsetting. Is that you know this and I know this, but that's what's upsetting about him, about Israel, is which
Israel is it? The twin?
The twin. Yeah.
Oh, was he kind of a bitch always though? Like kind of like a little pussy?
Well, I don't know. I didn't really hang out. Like we hung out, but I never really looked at anybody like that. There was a situation where I was like, dude, that was a bitch move, you know. But I always thought his brother was like the man. It's the way that he reacts to conflicting opinion of his own that is upsetting.
Which one's Israel? The one with 10 kids?
Yes, the one with 20 kids.
And then there's David, right? Or Daniel? David.
Yeah, he's got a husky.
David's got a dog.
Yes, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. He's got 2 motorcycles too. That son of a bitch.
Yeah, but he doesn't have 10 kids.
A motorcycle and a scooter.
Yeah, but no, I always I don't know. I don't know a lot about him, but
my point is that when I respect somebody, I get offended when someone acts contrary to the reason why I respect them. And for him to just like he posted a video about how dumb Joe Rogan is, how wrong he is all the time, and how he acts like he knows everything. And when I say these things, does that sound like Joe Rogan to you?
No.
Right? That's what's weird. That means that he's not listening. That means that he's taking individual words and getting upset about them.
You know what? He's probably still mad that Joe Rogan blasted Carlos Mencia. Remember? All those dudes in high school loved Carlos Mencia.
They loved him.
Yeah, then. And they're like, Joe Rogan must be a racist against the fucking Mexicans, dude. He just wants to see the wetback fail.
And you might have a point. I'm going to ask him. I want to get him on the show, and I'm going to
bring him on, dude.
Not like him because he doesn't like Carlos Mencia, because Carlos Mencia is a thief.
I mean, it's the only logical explanation, right? He probably has never even watched the Joe Rogan Experience.
Well, I think he had an argument once that Joe Rogan said what this one dude was pound for pound the best, blah blah blah, and then it's like, dude, fucking Joe Rogan doesn't know shit. How can he say he's pound for pound the best? You know?
Yeah, I totally forgot that everyone in San Bernardino is professional mixed martial artists.
Right.
I forgot. You know, well, I forgot because like when I was growing up, we were all like MMA experts, but. The reality
we were all
is
MMAing each other.
Yeah, but like
I don't know if we were
people don't know what the fuck they're doing, just beating the shit out of each other. All that's not MMA. But like this dude's a monster fighter, Joe Rogan. He's
a beast of a human being. He's admirable. Like if I look up to him. You know what I mean? I want to be like him. I want to. That's why dude. I got chickens now. Okay, I got 4 chickens. I own a pig.
Yeah.
I got my own studio. I got hunting rifle now. I'm gonna go hunting.
You got those chickens, the Bardocks, right?
No, they're
Bardocks,
Rocky
Plymouth
Mountain Reds. No, Rocky
Mountain Reds. Yeah, those are beautiful chickens, man.
Yeah, brown.
They grow fast. What was it, like 3 weeks?
It was like a month and a half.
Yeah,
they shot up.
You got some pigs too. I saw.
I got a pig. Yeah, I got a pig.
What are you doing the pig for? Just to have a pig?
Pet.
Yeah, they're cool pets. They're awesome pets, man.
Yeah. And then
I had a pig that was actually potty trained to use a litter box.
I could potty train her. She pees in one spot in the garage, and I've only been keeping her in the garage because of the rain. But
Yeah.
I bet if I put down a box with litter in it, she would shit
They'll,
piss in it.
yeah. Just make sure you don't use cat litter because it could kill them.
Really?
Yeah, they had this. They have wood litter that you can get for cats. It's like organic, but you got to find out because pigs are allergic to certain types of woods. So you got to make sure it's like not cedar, I think, or some wood. It's like
Okay.
the only thing they're allergic to is like if you go to Petco and buy wooden litter, it comes in the stuff they can't have and the stuff they can't have. Those are the only two that come in.
There's two different ones.
You got to, yeah, you just got to make sure it's not.
All right.
But
Well, I'm getting down to 3%. Let's 10 probably like 10 more minutes. Let's get ready to
all right,
tone this down.
so some closing points.
Yes.
All right. So facts make you racist, right? So we talk about the alt left. Talk about the alt left arguing feelings over facts, and anybody that argues with their opinions either a racist or listens to too much Joe Rogan Experience.
Yes.
Right? I think we came across that. Joe Rogan equals communism or something like that. We covered the overall influx of immigration in America and Sweden, crushing Sweden's beautiful, peaceful notion, and then also taking all the black man's jobs. The uneducated or lacking of a high school diploma that kind of rifles through the black communities. It's those jobs are now being taken by illegal immigrants and other defecting Hispanics that aren't assimilating to culture. For a brief period, we covered the fact that feminism is bad, but not for the act, but it's bad for women because it makes women look bad everywhere. And not feminism as an equality, but feminism as its alt-left movement that it's become and has been totally manipulated by left media to turn whores into saints. We also talked about how political correctness equals eggshells, and you shouldn't have to worry about what you're saying as long as there's no hate behind your statements.
Yeah.
And overall, it was nice catching up, man.
And it's fucking Bryson. Bryson, what is your news thing? Roberts News Daily.
Roberts Daily.
Roberts Daily News. My boy Bryson Roberts from Roberts Bryson Daily. Roberts News Daily. God, is a tongue twister. Thank you for coming on, man. That was a great conversation. I'm gonna have you on again. And now you're a part of the GSMH production crew. You're gonna have a segment. We're gonna create your show. Everything. I'm gonna help you design everything because that's a part of being in this. I got motion graphics, graphic design, audio engineering, all this shit, and we'll work on that. And I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in. And if you enjoyed this episode, go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, Blueberry, any podcasting app there is. Subscribe. Make sure you get that episode every single time, and then leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And if you tell me what you think, don't be a troll. Don't be a troll. Trolls are gross. That's why they're called trolls. Be a human and debate me. Put facts down. Say why I'm wrong. Don't just say, stupid, stop listening to Joe Rogan.
You're dumb. Communist.
All right, you guys. Damn, that was a good episode, bro. Damn. All right. Peace.
Peace.